In the world of reality TV, some stories seem too incredible to be true, but sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. Matt Rolloff and Caryn Chandler have shared an astonishing chapter in their lives. Just when fans thought they had seen everything, from family feuds to new romances and moments on the farm, Matt and Caryn surprised everyone. Caryn is pregnant, and Matt is going to be a father again. This isn't just any baby announcement. It's a story about love, second chances, and a journey that has defied all odds. How did it happen? What does it mean for the Rolloff family? And how is Matt handling this life-changing news? Matt Rolloff has been a household name for nearly 2 decades. As the head of the Rolloff family, he built Rolloff Farms, raised 4 children with Amy, and managed the daily challenges of living with dwarfism. When Matt and Amy's marriage ended, fans were heartbroken. But soon, Caryn Chandler entered Matt's life. Caryn was no stranger to Rolloff Farms. She had worked alongside the family for years, helping manage the pumpkin patch and events that brought joy to thousands of visitors. Her warm personality, supportive nature, and connection with Matt slowly became something more. At first, some fans and even family members questioned whether it was too soon or if Caryn would fit in. But through every season and every challenge, Matt and Caryn proved their bond was real. They traveled together, shared dreams, and built a life as a couple. Still, one question lingered. Would they start a family of their own? One quiet evening, away from filming and family drama, Matt planned a special getaway for Caryn. They checked into a boutique hotel in the Oregon countryside. Matt wanted to show Caryn how much she meant to him, with rose petals on the bed, her favorite dinner, and soft music playing. For the first time in a long time, they weren't Matt and Caryn from the show. They were just 2 people in love. That night, laughter turned into deep conversation. They shared dreams, fears, and possibilities for the future. In that room, under a gentle bedside lamp, they realized life at 60 wasn't over. It was beginning in a new way. The next morning, Caryn felt a change she couldn't explain. She had energy and a glow she hadn't felt in years. Matt thought it was just happiness, but Caryn sensed something more. Days passed, and Caryn noticed subtle signs: tiredness, cravings, and a growing anticipation. Matt teased her about loving pickles and ice cream, and she laughed, but soon the signs became impossible to ignore. One morning, Caryn decided to take a pregnancy test. She knew the odds were slim and wondered if motherhood was even possible at her age. Her heart raced as she waited. Seconds felt like hours. Then, 2 lines appeared, positive. Caryn's breath caught. A mix of joy, disbelief, and fear surged through her. Could she really be pregnant with Matt's child at this stage in life? She called Matt, her voice trembling. He rushed in, worried something was wrong. When Caryn showed him the test, Matt was stunned. He stared at the test, at Caryn, and back again. For a long moment, silence filled the room. Then, a single tear rolled down Matt's cheek. I never dreamed, he whispered. Caryn reached for his hand. Neither did I, she said. In that moment, they were just 2 people, vulnerable and overjoyed, facing the biggest surprise of their lives. Next came the challenge of sharing the news with family. Matt's kids, Zach, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob, were the first to hear. Reactions varied. Zach was speechless. Jeremy laughed in disbelief. Molly cried tears of joy, and Jacob stared in shock. Amy, Matt's ex-wife, was supportive but surprised. She had moved on and was happy in her own relationship with Chris Myrick. Despite the shock, the family came together, united by the joy of new life. When the news reached fans, the Little People, Big World community exploded with excitement. Social media was filled with messages of support and questions. How is this possible? Will Matt and Caryn marry? What does this mean for Rolloff Farms? Fans who had followed Matt's journey celebrated the story as one of hope, resilience, and proof that it's never too late for happiness. Pregnancy at any age can be challenging, and for Caryn, it came with unknowns. She experienced morning sickness, mood swings, and cravings, but also worries unique to her situation. Could her age put the baby at risk? Could they handle sleepless nights and parenting after so many years? Matt stayed by her side through it all. He drove her to appointments, read parenting books late at night, and even practiced diaper changes on a teddy bear. The first ultrasound was unforgettable. There on the screen was the tiny heartbeat of their miracle. In that moment, all fears and doubts melted away. Matt and Caryn felt a mix of awe and gratitude, knowing their lives were about to change forever. Tears streamed down both Matt and Caryn's faces. For Matt, this was a chance to experience fatherhood again, make new memories, and savor every moment. For Caryn, it was proof that love could rewrite her story. As the months passed, anticipation grew for the gender reveal. Matt and Caryn wanted it to be special, not just for themselves, but for the whole family. They invited everyone to Rolloff Farms for a summer barbecue. The fields were decorated in pink and blue, and everyone guessed whether it would be a boy or a girl. Finally, it was time for the reveal. Matt and Caryn stood hand in hand as Zach and Jeremy set off a confetti cannon.
Blue.
The crowd cheered. Matt hugged Caryn tightly. For a moment, the years melted away. They were simply two parents ready to welcome a baby boy into the world. Preparing for a baby was an adventure, but for Matt and Caryn, it was also a trip down memory lane. Matt dusted off his old woodworking tools to build a crib, just as he had for his older children. Caryn filled the nursery with stuffed animals, blankets, and books. They laughed over simple decisions like which stroller to buy, how to baby-proof the house, and who would handle diaper duty. There were tears, too. Late at night, Matt would hold Caryn close and whisper his hopes for their son, wishing he would be strong, kind, and confident. Caryn worried about the future, but Matt reminded her, "We've been through so much. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. There were so many times I thought my dreams were over. But you've shown me that hope never dies. We didn't plan for this, but sometimes the best things in life are surprises." For Matt, this pregnancy was more than a new beginning. It reminded him that life's greatest gifts often come when least expected. He talked openly with his children about the challenges and joys ahead, made peace with the past, and embraced the future with an open heart. Fans reacted immediately as news spread. Messages poured in from around the world, letters, emails, and social media posts full of encouragement and joy. Some shared their own stories of late-in-life parenthood, while others simply cheered Matt and Caryn on. The overwhelming message was clear: love has no age limit, and every family deserves a second chance at happiness. As Caryn's due date approached, excitement turned to nervous anticipation. Would everything go smoothly? Would their baby be healthy? Matt struggled with anxiety, remembering the sleepless nights and long days of raising 4 kids. Could he do it all again? But every time he looked at Caryn, his doubts faded. They were in it together, ready for the journey. Then, on a crisp autumn morning, Caryn went into labor. Matt rushed her to the hospital. Hours later, their son was born, small, perfect, and crying. Matt held his baby boy for the first time, and all the pain and heartache melted away. The family gathered around, laughing and crying as they welcomed the newest Rolloff into the world. Today, Matt and Caryn are embracing this new adventure with open hearts. The farm is filled with laughter again. Old wounds have healed, and new memories are being made. Matt often says, "This little boy is our miracle, proof that love never gives up." They know challenges will come, but with love, faith, and support from friends and fans, there is nothing they cannot face. But not all news has been joyful for the Rolloffs. Some little people, big world fans, are disappointed with Matt and Caryn's behavior toward a son. After ongoing tension, Matt and Caryn left the show. Fans have been following recent events closely. During the last episode, Chris conducted wagon tours in honor of pumpkin season while Zach and Tori moved into their new home. Instead of enjoying the pumpkin season, Zach and Tori focused on their move. Despite a strained father-son relationship, they visited Matt on the final weekend of the season, which brought him and Caryn joy. Tori noticed the tension and abruptly left the table when Matt asked about Zach's new life. Zach remained distant. Fans agreed that Zach's response was justified. Matt took offense and said they should have known better than to act offensively. Some blamed Matt for the family's breakup and criticized Caryn for dominating the conversation. Eventually, Zach and Tori settled into their new house, separated from Matt for the entire pumpkin season. They visited the family one last time, but tensions remained high. Zach continued giving Matt cold responses, and Tori felt uncomfortable, standing up from the table. Critics accused Caryn of making the family split worse. After the show was canceled, Caryn left Little People, Big World. Matt remains at odds with his family and the farm, while Caryn is preparing to move from Oregon to Arizona. She has listed her Oregon house for sale and plans to relocate in May. After Caryn listed her Oregon house and prepared for the move, life for Matt and Caryn became a balancing act. On one hand, they were celebrating the birth of their son and adjusting to life as new parents. On the other, tensions with Matt's older children and the broader Rolloff family still lingered. Zach and Tori had moved into their new home, and while the distance helped calm some tensions, old disagreements over Rolloff farms and family expectations continued to simmer in the background. Matt spent long hours on the farm, juggling his responsibilities as a parent and as a manager of Rolloff farms. He and Caryn often talked about how to maintain peace with Matt's older children, especially Zach, who had always been vocal about disagreements regarding the farm. Despite these tensions, Matt insisted on staying transparent with his children, sharing updates about the baby and the farm while being careful not to inflame any old disagreements. Meanwhile, Caryn's transition to motherhood was both joyful and exhausting. Every day brought new challenges, from late-night feedings to learning the subtle cues of a newborn. Matt was by her side constantly, helping to soothe the baby and teaching her the ways of fatherhood he had learned over decades. They laughed about small things, like accidentally dropping pacifiers or debating which baby monitor was best. These moments reminded them of why they had taken this journey together and strengthened their bond as a couple. Despite the joys, social media remained a battleground. Fans of Little People, Big World were divided. Many celebrated the couple's new baby and found inspiration in their late-in-life parenthood. Others criticized Matt and Caryn for how they had handled family disagreements, especially in the episodes leading up to the show's cancellation. Online forums and comment sections were filled with debates about whether Caryn had been too assertive and whether Matt had neglected his older children's feelings. Matt chose to focus on the positive. He often reminded himself that no family is perfect and that raising children, new or grown, is never easy. The arrival of his son with Caryn gave him a renewed perspective on patience, understanding, and forgiveness. He made a conscious effort to reach out to Zach and the other kids more often, inviting them over to meet their baby brother and reminding them that family ties were more important than disagreements over property or past conflicts. As spring turned into summer, the Rolloff farm became a hub of activity once again. Visitors returned for pumpkin season events, wagon rides, and family tours, providing Matt and Caryn with a sense of normalcy. For Caryn, participating in these events was bittersweet. She loved seeing families enjoy the farm and sharing her experience as a mother, but she also felt the sting of critics who continued to blame her for past family disputes. Through it all, Matt remained her anchor. One of the biggest challenges came when Matt had to explain to his older children why some decisions had been made regarding the farm. He and Caryn wanted to expand certain parts of the property and make upgrades that would benefit visitors, but Zach and Tori sometimes felt excluded from the decision-making process. Matt handled these moments carefully, emphasizing that his goal was to create a future that could benefit everyone, while reassuring them that the family's legacy and values remained central. Caryn found herself becoming more integrated into the daily operations of Rolloff farms. She coordinated with staff, helped plan events, and even assisted with marketing initiatives. Her hands-on approach earned her respect from some employees, though others whispered about favoritism. Despite the whispers, Matt and Caryn stayed focused on their shared goals, raising their son, keeping the farm operational, and gradually rebuilding trust with the extended Rolloff family. By late summer, the family began to see small breakthroughs. Zach and Tori visited more often, bringing their children and spending time with the baby. Shared meals, laughter, and simple conversations helped ease tensions. Matt's older children began to recognize that the new baby was a unifying force, not a wedge. The tiny infant who had once been a surprise had now become a bridge between generations. Meanwhile, Matt and Caryn started planning for the future. They discussed schooling options, healthcare, and how to balance farm operations with raising a child. They dreamed of building new family traditions that would include both the older Rolloff children and their youngest son. They envisioned holiday gatherings filled with laughter, storytelling, and the kind of love that could heal old wounds. Social media continued to play a role in their lives. Posts of the baby on the farm, first steps, and family moments received thousands of likes and messages of encouragement. Matt occasionally addressed the critics, explaining that every family has disagreements and that his priority was always the well-being of his children, old and new. Fans who had supported Matt from the beginning praised his openness and willingness to acknowledge his mistakes while moving forward. Caryn's presence on the farm began to feel more natural over time. She built a routine that balanced caring for their son, assisting with farm operations, and supporting Matt emotionally. Even though some visitors were still skeptical of her role, many appreciated her dedication and warmth. Together, Matt and Caryn became a strong parental team, proving that age, past hardships, and public scrutiny couldn't diminish the power of family love. In the fall, the farm hosted its annual Pumpkin Festival, a major event that brought in visitors from across the region. Matt and Caryn worked side by side, welcoming guests, sharing their story, and showing off the newest addition to the Rolloff family. The baby, now several months old, became a symbol of hope and new beginnings for the farm and the family. Photos of the infant with pumpkins and haystacks circulated online, inspiring many fans and creating a wave of positive attention. Despite progress, Matt and Caryn knew challenges were far from over. Rebuilding trust with Zach and Tori, navigating public opinion, and managing the complexities of a blended family required constant effort. Yet, every milestone, the baby's first laugh, the family meal without tension, a successful pumpkin festival, served as a reminder that patience and perseverance could overcome even long-standing conflicts. By winter, Matt and Caryn had begun planning for their move to Arizona. Caryn listed her Oregon home and started preparing for a life closer to extended family and friends who could provide support. Matt reflected on how much life had changed over the past year, from the surprise pregnancy to the birth of their son, to learning to navigate family tensions with grace. While leaving Oregon was bittersweet, both understood that the move represented new opportunities for growth, family bonding, and a fresh start for their young family. Throughout these months, Matt often spoke about the lessons he had learned. He emphasized the importance of forgiveness, the value of communication, and the fact that love is not limited by age or circumstance. Caryn echoed his sentiments, sharing how this experience had taught her resilience, patience, and the joy that comes from unexpected blessings. Together, they modeled a family dynamic that balanced the joys of parenthood, the responsibilities of the farm, and the complexities of family reconciliation. As the year drew to a close, Matt, Caryn, and their son were surrounded by close friends, staff, and family members. They celebrated the holidays with warmth, laughter, and hope for the future. The Rolloff farm, once a backdrop for family disputes and tension, had become a place of unity, growth, and love. Matt's older children, while still cautious, began to show signs of genuine connection with their new baby brother, and Caryn's place in the family was gradually solidifying. The story of Matt Rolloff, Caryn Chandler, and their